I'm sorry for the interruption. I just told you the method that we got the ethics committee approval and we registered the consecutive patients who had these atypical features. Okay, now we'll just go to the next slide. So we have ourselves interviewed all these patients, data collected over 6 months, consent taken. So I'll just skip all these. Diagnostic assessment we have done using SCID-1. And along with that, we also used a Hamilton 17-item scale. Peckel scale was to assess the suicidal ideation, Barrett's impulsivity scale. And based on DSM-4 TR, there are scales to assess functioning in various domains like global assessment of functioning, social and occupational functioning assessment, and global assessment of relational functioning, which we have done for the study. The data was of 107 patients, and also we took follow-up data after 6 weeks of regular treatment. There was high attrition rate in the follow-up, as we do expect in MDD. So in all, we completed 59 patients for follow-up. Now, most important is the results, which I want to share. So atypical features, we found that they were present in 59 of these 107 patients. Out of these, the 5 atypical features that we discussed, the most common ones were, as you can see here, the interpersonal sensitivity and leaden paralysis. So though when we say atypical features, we talk mainly about hypersomnia and increased appetite. When we consider in the Indian setting, we see that there are so many patients who have actually high interpersonal sensitivity and leaden paralysis, and how this is important when we are clinically managing the patients with major depression. That is what I want to discuss. And here you can also see that those who do not fulfill the atypical features criteria, in those patients also, like those who did not have mood reactivity. Okay, I think all of you getting it, that main criteria to diagnose ATFS is mood reactivity, which was present in 59 patients. It was not there in remaining 48 patients, but even among those, interpersonal sensitivity was seen in 60% and 13% had leaden paralysis. So this we'll discuss in the discussion. So these are other socio-demographic details, which I will not go into much detail. Only thing is we found atypical features to be more common in the urban setting than in the rural setting. This is one finding. The next thing is the presence of atypical features. It was not related to the education or the marital status of the patients. Then next thing is the HDRS score. So as we often think that when in presence of atypical features, severity of depression is less, but it is not so. Here you can see that there was only marginal difference between the HDRS score, just 20 and 21, the mean HDRS score in those with and without atypical features. Okay. And also if you consider the functioning, impairment in the functioning, it was also quite comparable in the both. And most importantly, the Peckel score, which actually reflected on the suicidal ideation, it was comparable in both the groups. That is, suicidality is very much there, and it is much like in those patients who do not have atypical features. Now, when we found a correlation in functioning and the HDRS score, as the severity of depression, it goes on increasing, does the functioning goes on worsening. This is what we have found out. Okay, so here you can see that when you do not have atypical features, what happens is functioning does go on worsening when the depression is more and more severe. Whereas in presence of atypical features, the functioning remains marginally affected, and it does remain so despite depression getting severe. So I think this is very important. So what will happen is these patients, they will continue to function despite having more severe depression. So this can, again, undermine the severity and the suicidality in this patient. We also conducted the multivariate analysis, and it does show the following factors to be important in presence of atypical features. That is the urban population. Secondly, the HDRS score above mean, that is 21. Then global functioning, and most importantly, among the functioning, the relational functioning. Now I'm going to discuss this interpersonal dimension in detail, because that is the main aim actually in presenting this study. This is the comorbid diagnosis found in these patients. So we found that 3 patients had hypomanic episode, 2 had cyclothymic disorder, 4 had hyperthymic disorder, 3 had GAD, 1 OCD, 1 social anxiety, 4 pain disorder, and 11 had dysthymic disorder in presence of atypical features. Whereas if you see in depression without atypical features, the comorbidities are quite less, significantly less. So this is the important thing to remember. Then at follow-up, we can see that there was not much difference. It was not statistically significant. The improvement in depression with and without atypical features after 6 weeks of antidepressant treatment, it was comparable. So this is the table. It was not statistically significant. Now in the discussion, I would like to mainly focus on the important findings that initially I told you that the prevalence, it is higher in our study compared to other studies where they found about 40%, we have found 55%. Then hypersomnia and hyperphagia, they are less common in our setting than interpersonal sensitivity and leaden paralysis. Then suicidal ideation score, total impulsivity score, and the number with past history of suicide attempts, if you see, they are comparable in both the groups. So suicide risk is comparable, but more comorbidities we see in case of atypical features. Now, as far as dysfunction in depression is concerned, now we say that depression is the prominent cause of disability. So what is the kind of dysfunction we see in Indian setting? So now we have found that social and occupational functioning is there, but the most significantly affected sphere of functioning was the relational functioning. The interpersonal problems that these depressed patients get, they are very, very significant. They often have marital discord. They have problems in interaction with the other family members and even in peers at workplace. So this interpersonal relational dimension in depression is something which is very important. So how would they define it in SCID? So that SCID was the tool used by us. So SCID defines interpersonal sensitivity as long-standing pattern of interpersonal rejection sensitivity, which is not limited to episodes of mood disturbance, and it results in significant social and occupational impairment. So because of this sensitivity, it happens that the patients are often, they get isolated, they avoid social interaction, they are hurt, they avoid the relationships, and they most importantly, they lose out on the emotional support, which is very, very important as far as management of major depression is concerned. Now, as I said, relational functioning is the one which is most affected. So there were problems in relationships. And why this is important? In the study given by Lakshmi Vijay Kumar, they said that common precipitating cause of suicide in India, it is the problems in relationships. That is why I think that our finding is very, very important. Now, this preserved mood reactivity, how it affects the interpersonal dimension. Relatives and colleagues may not be often identifying them as depressed or ill subjects. So that worsens, the bitterness in their relationships. Then importance of enhancing the quality relationships and education about depression and associated interpersonal sensitivity in the immediate family is very, very important. So that is what I would suggest in the end, that we need to explain to the relatives that what happens to this interpersonal aspect when a person is depressed, how it affects their perception of other people. It leads to interpersonal stress, and it is the most common perceived stress. So we also had a qualitative question about what is the most important perceived stress by you. We asked all these 107 patients. So almost 41% reported that the interpersonal stress was the most severe kind of stress they perceived. So in conclusion, I would say that these atypical features, they were common. They are common in Indian settings. Comorbidities are often present in presence of atypical features. So we may misdiagnose them as merely anxiety disorder. Then illness duration and severity, including suicide risk, they are comparable in both the groups, those with and without atypical features. And lastly, I would stress on the point that interpersonal sensitivity and worse relational functioning, higher motor impulsivity. I have not touched upon much on impulsivity dimension due to time constraint in this particular presentation. And preserved global functioning with worsening depression, they all indicate the need for clinical vigilance and assessment of suicide risk in the presence of atypical features in the depression. We should routinely, in our routine clinical practice, be aware that a depressed person who comes to us, who has persistent, pervasive low mood and lack of this energy and all these things, we have to look or consider the possibility of depression with atypical features. And also be aware about the high interpersonal sensitivity of this patient, especially in the Indian setting. And we should also know that, this sensitivity will also come over in the doctor-patient relationship. So we need to maintain a very good rapport with these patients and explain to the relatives also about this dimension. And this is likely to reduce the dropout rates as far as treatment of depression is concerned. And we may be also be even, increase our vigilance about the suicide risk in this patient. So this is what I wanted to present. I thank MUHS, which has funded this study. So I thank you all for your patience and the disturbance I had in the presentation and bearing with me. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam. Despite the glitch, internet glitch, you had finished in time and it was a nice deliberation. And now I will invite questions in the chat box, or we'll participate from our side. Dr. Manjari, do you have got any question for madam?
Yeah, no question, but just a comment. Like madam's study was extremely informative. Like this is what we see in our clinical experience, but madam has aptly in her research has made a conclusion that definitely atypical features in depression are there, and mood reactivity is what is frequently documented in all textbooks as a indicator of depression. But madam in her observation in her study has rightly said that maybe atypical features where mood reactivity is preserved, they also have to be taken into account, and they can be they can be missed by the relatives as not being depressed and may not be brought to for clinical attention. So thank you, madam, for presenting this study.
Thank you.
If there are any there are any questions, we can take that. Otherwise, we can move to the next speaker. Congratulations, madam, for the paper.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Deshpande, for your nice talk, and it is quite clinically revealing. And with this, we'll go for the next lecture by Dr. Behre, who is very dear to me, my brother, my elder brother. I hold him in a great esteem, and still I remember that he is the recipient of National Award, Dr. B.C. Ray Award. And he will be introduced by Dr. Manjari. Dr. Manjari, please introduce Dr. Behre.
Okay, so I'll have to formally introduce, but everyone knows he is a well-known psychiatrist, Dr. Prakash Behre. He's currently working as a director and the professor of psychiatry at JNMC Wardha, and he's a recipient of Dr. B.C. Roy National Award. He has also been the vice chancellor of D.Y. Patil University, Kolhapur from 2016 to 19. He was director of research and development at Datta Meghe Institute and was professor of psychiatry from 11 to 16 at Datta Meghe. And he was also director and professor of MGM Institute Sevagram from 96 to 2011. So he has many awards to his credits, including the B.C. Roy National Award, NNDA Oration Award, PPA Award in Child and Adolescent Mental Health, Fellowship in National Academy of Medical Sciences in 2014. He has also received the DLN Murthy Rao Oration Award at ANSIPS Raipur and VN Bagadia Lifetime Achievement Award, and has several research publications at his credit. So may I now request Dr. Behre sir to start his talk and enlighten us.
Thank you, Dr. Manjari, for introducing me so detailed, And Dr. Tufan Fateh, I'm seeing, a very close friend of mine from Bhubaneswar.
Welcome.
And let me just share the screen. Yeah. And then is my screen visible now?
It's quite
Hello?
visible. Yeah, it is visible,
Yes,
sir.
Okay, then I will start.
Yeah, start.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity for this particular lecture. When Dr. Raju phoned me and requested me to talk on this topic, saying that you are the authority of India on this. What happened in 2005 when I was working in the Sevagram, which is a village in district Wardha, Maharashtra, near Nagpur. there are lots of suicide committed by farmers, and it was probably the more political issue. Then Collector of Wardha requested me that can I help him to find out whether really these are suicide, these are farmers, and how can we help them. And he has provided me with the infrastructure and staff and other thing. It took 3 months to visit every death, not suicide, every death I visited in Wardha district. And I have done almost 1.5 decade of work, and I'll summarize that in my work, and then I'll open it for question and answer. And I would love to have the questions on this area, because it is now more political. There's assembly question, parliament question, and so many issues, you know. And what happened before giving the compensation to the farmers, they said that he should be a farmer by occupation, number 1. Number 2, he should have taken the loan from the either bank or money lender, and the bank people should pressurize him for recovery of the loan. These are the 3 criteria for which the compensation of rupees only 1 lakh was given. So this is my first slide about my affiliation, etc. And this is my institution and some photographs so that you will not get bored. This is Datta Institute of Medical Science at Deemed University. NAC has given A+ accreditation for this. Before that, this is 3rd cycle of the accreditation. What I planned that I'll give the introduction, then how big is the problem, then our own study in Wardha district, then most important, which is neglected area, is that when farmers commit suicide, then the survivor this paper. Then our own public about my interview on the National Geographic in 2017, and then I'll conclude. When you open the newspaper in the morning, either Hindi, Marathi, or any language or English, you will find some other notes on the farmer suicide burning news, like farmer suicide rise 15% to 235 in March. Then farmer ends life in Nashik. Farmer suicide in Maharashtra less than last year. So sometimes it is increases, sometimes decreases. It is more political than the actual figure. 852 farmer suicide in 4 months in state. This is about Maharashtra. I'm not talking about other states. 316 farmer suicide in Maharashtra region this year. So any way you open any day of the newspaper, there will be either front cover news or somewhere inside about the farmer suicide. This area is very difficult to work. Number 1, when you go to village, they think that you are a government officers and coming there to assess for giving the compensation, not for the assessment. So number 2, it is very painful to see when farmers commit suicide, they do not get the compensation in time. There are many of the farmers, they really did not die of the real suicide, due to money, loan and other thing. There were some political issues and they got the loan. And real farmers, they did not get the loan. So this is very painful to work this area. So there are lots of cry in the assembly and newspaper that is the prevalence of farmer suicide really high? What happened in national suicide rate of the National Crime Record Bureau, this government agency from Delhi, they give the data, which is underreported rather, some of the suicide are reported as accidental death. So this is underreported data of government. Every year this goes on. So if you see the national suicide rate is 10.6 per 100,000 population or per lakh population. So this is national suicide rate, not the farmer, including farmer. This is national suicide rate, including the farmers. You see the Maharashtra, it is 14.2 per lakh population. This is definitely high. But we cannot comment at this juncture whether these are really farmers or not. Andhra Pradesh 12.1, Telangana 27.7, and Chhattisgarh 27.7. This is very, very high. Surprisingly, Dr. Tufan Wadi is from Odisha. Odisha got very less farmer suicide. Bihar got very less farmer suicide. And I discussed many of my colleagues with the Odisha people and Bihar people. They said that the government has given, rice and potato in very cheap rate. Tufan Wadi is here, is chairing the session. So their, main meal is potato and the rice. So I don't know why suicide rate is very low in Odisha and Bihar. If you see the map, you see the Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Telangana. And you see, Odisha is 9.7, 9.7, very low. Now, in 2015, the first time they have given the definition of farmers and cultivators. The farmer should be having their own farm, then only they can call be farmers, or they can own the land. And cultivators are those who are working in their farm. This is definition given in 2015, first time, who is farmer and who is a cultivator and who is the agricultural laborer. So these are the person who work in the other people's farm. These people are known as agricultural laborer. They do not get the compensation because they don't own the farm as per the definition of Government of India. Now they are 12,602 persons involved in farming sector, and very good amount of the farmers they committed suicide. It comes to almost 9%, 9.4% of the total suicide rate is committed by farming in 2015. NCRB data is the government data of central government, National Crime Record Bureau data. It comes every year. This is the year 2015 is the year where they have clearly given the information about the farmer suicide. They have not given about the farmer suicide in 2014 or 13. Then again, they did not give the information of 16 and 17. And the parliament question was raised by one of the member of parliament, that what about the data of 2016 and 17? The government has given the answer that we are still working on, and they have not given the data. There is a possibility that the farmer suicide has gone up, and therefore they are hiding the data, they are not giving the data. This may be one of the reasons, I may be wrong, but the data was not given. But subsequently, the data came later on. So we got proper data of farmer suicide by Government of India 2015. I told about 1670 data was delayed, and it was not, the answer was not given. The parliament, the answer was given that we are still working on, which is surprisingly, this may not be truth. This type of booklet comes, Crime in India in 2016 Statistics, National Crime Record Bureau. Now, in 2015, we got the real data. After that, we don't have the real data. The data was not given. 14 and 13, data was not given. So there were 8,007 farmers who committed suicide in 2015. Out of that, Maharashtra got their share is 38%. 38% is really very high. So out of 8,007, 3,030 committed suicide. Their share is 38%. Telangana 17%. Madhya Pradesh 7%. And Andhra Pradesh 6.4. So here the Maharashtra is really high. That is why the government is worried, and there are lots of cry in the assembly. Now, National Crime Record Bureau again, 1995 to they have done 12 years data. There were about 200,000 farmers who committed suicide. 2 lakhs farmers committed suicide, with the average rate is 16,000 per year. 16,000 per year suicide committed by the farmer is a very high figure. And every seventh suicide in the country is a farmer suicide. Out of, say, there are 7 general suicide, then at least 1 is out of 7 is a farmer suicide. Then surprisingly, in Maharashtra, farmer suicide rate is 60 times higher, than the general suicide rate in India. And every 5th farmer suicide committed in India, every 5th farmer who commits suicide is from Maharashtra. Therefore, Maharashtra got their higher share, and especially in Vidarbha, Yavatmal, and Amravati. These are the 3 districts where there is high suicide rate. Some background noise is coming, they can mute the mic.
There is some sound problem. Please, technical staff, please take care of this.
They make the mic.
And I request everyone to please mute themselves, except the speaker.
Then farmers suicide happens.
A small example comes out. So when
I don't know who is speaking. The mic is not mute.
I request everyone to please mute.
I request the support staff to mute everyone from their side. Only except for Dr. Bere.
Okay, I'll not waste my time and I'll speak slightly loudly, and then probably my voice is louder than the background noise. The farmer suicide account for approximately 10% of all suicide in India. This is Times of India 2017 May. So it is 10% of all suicide is a farmer suicide. This is quite interesting. If you see this pie diagram, then this particular pie diagram is giving the details about the percentage share of the major causes of suicide among farmers. The most common cause, you see, the farming related issue is 19.5%. 19.5%. That is more important. Poverty is only 1%, and alcohol is 4%. So we'll not go into more detail, but farming related is 19%. This is the map of Maharashtra, and then the red color is the Vidarbha area. They call the Vidarbha. Vidarbha got the 11 districts. 11 districts. You can see all the districts are there. You start from the Buldana, and other end is Gadchiroli, and Wardha is there. One of them, Amravati, Yavathmal, etc., etc. In Wardha there are 8 taluka. You can say these are the 8 taluka. So I'll give briefly about my own finding, which we did in around 2005 on the request of Government of Maharashtra. So we did the work from 2005 January to March 2006. That is 15 months. There were total 30 suicides. Average suicide were 2 suicides per month. Age was 20 to 80 years. Mean was 48 years. And all were males. I did not see any of the female who committed suicide. There are the support staff most probably in Maharashtra. They are not basically originally owning the farm. This may be one of the reasons. But some of the states, they got the suicide in the female as well. Then most common method is poisoning, 53.3%. Reason being it is easily available, accessible. And my in discussion how to prevent that, I'll comment about the poisoning, pesticide. Then jumping, and then hanging and jumping in the well. So most common is a pesticide. It is available in the farm. Reason of suicide was directly related to farming debt, 30%, and indirectly related is 50%. Now, when you take a loan from the government or bank or a money lender, sahukar, then you are purchasing seeds or you are purchasing the fertilizer or pesticide. This is known as direct loan. And suppose you are taking the money not directly for the farming, you are taking the money for digging the well or marriage of the daughter, right? And thinking that when the crop will be good, I will repay the loan. And this is known as indirect loan. So 30% were direct loan and 50% are the indirect loan. And these are included in the loan. Then some of the patients got the other illness, cancer, alcohol problem, etc., etc. Now the farmers are really in distress. If you go and talk to farmers, what happened? Farmers' son, they will become farmers, and then their son become farmers and farmers. The industry continue. But nowadays, farmers' son, they do not want to do the farming. Either they will go to some industry or some bigger town, metro town to work. Many are working there as a contract laborer, going to work in the industry or the construction site. So the farming is coming down. And at least 1 or 2% in the family is now in a service, or sometimes they're in the military service. So this is a big worrying thing, that if farmer's son is not doing farming, then probably the farming will disappear one day. So it is a serious matter. And 40% of the farmers, they say that they want to change their profession. They don't want to do the farming. This is a serious issue. And then there is a little evidence that the farm loan waiver, water and fertilizer subsidy, electricity subsidy will reduce farmer suicide. It is unlikely, because suppose you have reduced given the waiver for the loan for this particular year, then they will again come with the next year, the next year, and next year. How long the government will support? Therefore, government should bring out some other thing, which we are going to discuss. Loan waiver is not a solution. It will not prevent farmer suicide. A big issue is that, like electricity, those farmers who cannot pay, sometimes they say that give in the installment, sometimes they said the 50% waived up, sometime due to political reason during election, they will say that 100% waived off. But those farmers who are paying regularly, they are now forming an association, discussing that they are regularly paying, you are not giving discount. So Ratnagiri area in Maharashtra, they told, okay, we'll give 1% discount, which is very, very less. So they are encouraging that don't pay the electricity bill. We will waive off the electricity bill. If you are paying regularly, then there is no discount. So they out of 3,000 farmers, 2,474 committed suicide due to unpaid loans. There was finance is very involved. Out of 3,000 farmers who committed suicide in 2015, about 2,500 suicide were related to the loan. Government has announced recently, the current government has announced that they will double the farm income by 2022. This was the political issue everywhere. They talked in the discussion and the debate, but there was no blueprint for this scheme. So to implement this scheme, you should have a blueprint for that. So it needs some time to prepare that. Now, another big issue is that survivors of the farmer suicide. Suppose there is a farmer who committed suicide, then their sons or daughters or their parents or wife, they are the survivor and they are undergoing under great distress and stress, and they also got the suicidal ideas and nobody has done the work. So about 8 years back we did this work, and we'll give a brief finding in 2 or 3 slides so that you know that these people are under distress. So most of the studies were around farmer suicide, but this particular study is survivors who survive, not the farmer. Farmers commit suicide. The survivor is the wife, parents, or children. So we worked on that area and we'll let you know what was the finding. You see, we have done the control study. Like in the one lane, when there is farmer suicide in a particular house, we have selected the second lane in the village and assessed when there is no suicide. We found that the close relatives of suicide victim, there are 59.3% having psychological distress. But in the control, where there is no suicide in the family, the distress in the relative is only 16.7%. This was statistically significant. It means if there is a suicide in the family, they got the higher distress as compared to the controls. This is a very important finding. Now we use the SRQ20, and there are some of the questions related to depression. One of the question number 17 is, have you thought about ending your life? 31.5% of the survivors whose family member is a farmer who committed suicide got the answer yes, they got suicidal ideas, as compared to control, where there is no suicide in the family. There is only 9.3% cases they told that they got suicidal ideas. It means if there is a farmer who committed suicide, then survivor, the family members, the wife and the parents or children, 31.5% have suicidal ideas as compared to controls. So this is very interesting. It means they need help. And since then we provided the helpline and we have provided the SMS messages. If they got problem, they can contact us. And they used to contact us and we will try to help and sometimes admit these people. Moreover, frequent loan waivers is a political issue, politically motivated and erode the rural, and sometimes it becomes the credit in the delivery system, rural. So this is difficult. Sometimes the loan waiver itself, loan waiver itself is an incentive to commit suicide. That there is a movie, I'll show some of the photographs of that, where one of the brothers of the farmer, they told that you commit suicide and they'll get 1 lakh rupees and the family will be sorting out their loans, etc. So is it incentive to commit suicide? This is a big issue. And how long you will waive off? How long you will waive off? Government doesn't have that money. And every year you cannot waive it off. So it becomes more political that we will waive off if you vote me. Various parties' agenda is this, but this is not the solution. And this is the National Geographic that the associate editor, Sarah Gibbons, has interviewed me. She interviewed me of 3 days, 1 hour each, and then she concluded, and I'll tell you the briefly summary about the finding. See, in my intro, she she probably concluded that it is the climate change, global warming, which is causing the suicide in the farmers. You see that this diagrammatic representation, there's a climate change, there's a global warming, you see the warming, and the farmer is totally dependent on the monsoon. Hardly they got their well or some water source. So you see, they have taken the loan from the bank. It is difficult to take the loan from the bank as compared to the money lenders. Money lenders is very expensive loan, but it is easy to get. Then there is a poor monsoon, and then there is a crop failure because they are solely dependent upon the natural rain. And then when there is a crop failure, they are under distress or they develop depression and they start consuming alcohol. Then they start alcohol abuse, and that causes depression. Or sometimes depression causes alcohol abuse. They are interrelated. Alcohol to depression, depression to alcohol. And then there is debt. They are not able to pay the loan, and there is a pressure of the bank for the debt collection. And then farmer may commit suicide. So this is the indirectly global warming causes farmer suicide. This is the conclusion of the National Geographic interview in 2017. Then there is another interview published in the Down to Earth magazine. The remains was the cover, and this was the interview. These are the photographs, and they have given the detail about it. Now, government has given this Kisan credit card, which is very interesting and important. But the difficulty is that the government schemes are not known to farmers. They are not knowing that these are the schemes are available. Like I'll tell the alternative to farming. Kisan credit card is available, but they're not available. So I think that the ASHA worker, auxiliary nurse, midwife, and then the grassroots worker, they should give more information and detail about the schemes available from the government of India or government of Maharashtra to the farmers, because they are not aware. This is the difficulty. The schemes are there, but they are not aware of it. I think I will take another 2-3 minutes, and then I'll leave it for discussion. Intro suicide victim survivor. We have conducted some of the photographs. You can see. This is one of the village in Wardha. Wardha is a very small district. The Wardha proper is having 1.3 lakh population. Wardha district is having 13 lakh population. Now I'll show some of the photographs. This is the family's house and survivors. How to help? Just I'll briefly touch that we should have a national suicide prevention strategy. We don't have this one in India. UK got it. They have stringent on the Firearm, etc. Act 1988, and they found that suicide has come down. Loan should carry a minimal interest. This is the thing. And suicide prevention campaign in Sri Lanka is very good. The slogan is agricultural loan only for agriculture purposes. They should not use this loan for some other purpose. Then we should give training to the farmers, new technologies. There are many things is available. Many farmers, they do not know. We should control the pesticide, and we should keep the pesticide in the community, not in their house or farm. And they should two keep, one with the family, other with the community worker. And one of my patients who wanted to commit suicide went to take the pesticide from the community, but then his idea changed and came back. So this is very interesting that you keep in center place. Then this is very interesting. The compensation sometimes is provided incentive for the suicide. So this is a big issue. Goat farming is there. There is a good amount of subsidy, 25 to 35%, and government. This is the scheme. They provide the goat with minimal, charges. There are lots of subsidies available. Then there is a water solar, pump. You can see the photograph. It is provided by the government of Maharashtra. You can see this car in the thela, and she is using solar battery. This is something new development technology. You can see the photograph. This is the movie, Pipli Life. If you got opportunity, please see. This person was asked to commit suicide so that family will get 1 lakh rupees. And he's Raghuveer Yadav. And what he did, he disappeared from there and went to Delhi and started working in the construction site. So this is very interesting movie. And they provided this, hand pump, and they kept in the drying room, not in the farm. because there was no digging, nothing was there. It's a showpiece. This is a good movie. These are some of the photographs. These are my publication I've just run. There are loads of publication we have done in the last 15 years in the books and other things. Thank you very much. So I have finished in time, and now I would love to have discussion and questions, because this is very difficult and painfully at work.
Thank you, Dr. Bere, for the nice presentation. It is illuminating, as always. And let me go to the chat box. 5 minutes ago, there is no specific question. So, can I have a discussion or have a question for you, Dr. Bere?
Yes, please.
Yes. So, the way of visualizing that the percentage of suicide from these states are this much, rather a better way is to see what are the number of farmers in that state and what is the percentage in relation to that.
Perfect. This is not the percentage is not right percentage, because we are finding the total number of suicide. Then we are taking out farmers. Best thing that in that particular, say, take the example of village, find out how many farmers are there.
Exactly.
And then you find out how many committed suicide. That is the
that
exact
percentage.
Government is not intentionally not providing this figure. This is a good question. Yeah. I also raised this many of the time. You don't calculate with the general suicide. You calculate number of farmers and then number of farmer suicide. Good idea. We should done. I think if we get the grant, we can do it in some district.
Yeah, we can do it ourselves.
I want to ask you, because you are from Odisha. Why there is less farmer suicide? I discussed so many times. And one of the my
second question is the answer to that. This cleavage of farmers from peasants is a little arbitrary. Maybe in Odisha we are considering most of them as peasants, not farmers, who are more in other states. Landlords, converted landlords are big landowners. So their number is low. So Odisha's number of suicide is low. But the stress for the person concerned is equal for a farmer and rather more for a peasant who is not a farmer.
Yes.
That aspect so I think you are the leader. You can initiate some studies in this regard. In Odisha, I am committing here to take care of this along with you. But these are
my help. I'm there to help you. I can guide you.
But I think this is the thing because maybe the statistics we are exposing is as we want to.
Same is true with Bihar. I don't know why Bihar there is less farming society. Is it real data? Difficult to say.
The leveling of a particular person as a farmer is by the Government of India criteria, which doesn't apply everywhere. So number of farmers.
When we work in this area, I have realized that one of the political family in the village, there was a murder. But they are linked to the political party. They got the compensation of farmer society.
Yes, that can happen.
Lots of political pressure. And real farmer who committed suicide, they are not getting the compensation.
That may be the reason.
I don't know. It's very painful to work,
But you have worked a lot. You have brought out so many important aspects. Like it can be also equally strenuous for the family members. And responding by suicide can be genetically determined to some extent also. That cannot be excluded.
Maybe, yeah.
So these are my appreciatory comments. And now, Dr.
So one question I wanted to inquire with sir, the suicide survivors or their family members, how open they were to interventions, especially from psychological as a psychiatrist.
Because they are not aware that the help is provided, help is available, and it is treatable condition. When we visited this house, they agreed. And they contacted us. They contacted us on the SMS. We are now helping on the digital platform, and they got the ordinary phone, button phone. They can send the SMS and we respond. I found that you communicate with them and they will communicate with SMS, and the suicide comes down. There are lots of study on that. Lakshmi Vijay Kumar has done good study. She has done in one village with SMS, other village is a control village, and she found that the suicide rate has come down where the SMS is provided, text messages.
Okay, so when first contact is provided by us, like mental health professionals, they are quite open to respond and seek help from us.
Sometimes they come middle of the night for admission and help. They come.
So that is an extremely positive and welcome step from our side. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. It's
Thank
nice seeing you,
you.
interacting with you,
Seeing
and
after a long time.
sharing smiles with you. It's my pleasure, and my regards to you, sir.
Thank you.
With this, we close this meeting, and everyone can go and have their lunch at their own places to resign
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
the next
Sir.
session.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am and sir, for chairing this session. I also
Thank you
thank
very
respected
much.
speakers for such informative and innovative presentations. We shall now disperse for lunch and once again assemble at 2 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.